Hi guys. So let's pretend that we've finished working the sleeve and we're ready to set up for the right shoulder, which is casting on stitches for the front and the back, working them along with the already established sleeve stitches. So the first thing you want to do is with scrap yarn, provisionally cast on stitches for the size that you're making onto a spare needle. And this will be for the front of your sweater. If you don't know how to work a provisional cast on with a crochet cast on, there is a link to that in the pattern, and I will give you a link in the tips and tricks as well. I have a separate video for that. So I've got them already set up on the spare needle. I don't have as many as you're going to be putting on. And then I'm going to go ahead and with the wrong side of my sleeve facing me so that the needle with all your stitches is in your right hand, and then the needle with the scrap yarn with the provisional stitches is in your left hand. I'm going to go ahead and knit across all of those stitches. Now, the reason that I'm knitting across all of these stitches is that Pacificus, I want to get my little tail out of the way while I'm talking to you. It's a lot to do at once here. Pacificus has worked with a reversible stockinette stitch, so the purl side shows to the front of the work and the knit side shows to the back. So that's why I'm knitting, even though it's the wrong side. If you decide that you want to have the knit showing to the right side of your Pacificus, then you would purl across these stitches and then knit across the stitches on the right side of the work. So you would just change that about the pattern if you would prefer to have the right side facing out. I really love actually reverse stockinette stitch with the purl side facing out. I really think it's interesting texture. So there we go. I have knit across all of those stitches. Now, if you're somebody who is nervous about unzipping a provisional cast on, at this point, you could take a lifeline or a spare piece of like buttonhole thread or thin yarn and thread it through all of those stitches on the needle, and then it would catch all of those stitches. So when you go to rip out your provisional cast on, you will have all of those stitches held by the lifeline. If you do that, tie both ends of the lifeline together so that it can't pull out. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to ask. Now I'm ready to work, set up row 2, which is a right side row. And you'll see that the first thing it says is to cable cast on 10 stitches. That cable cast on of the 10 stitches is for the hem of the pattern. In this case, I'm just going to do 5 stitches for you right now. So I'm cable casting on 5 stitches. I'm going in between those 2 stitches on the needle, grabbing a stitch and pulling it through. If you don't know how to do a cable cast on, I do have a separate video that really breaks that down. I'm just doing 5 stitches. This is 3. This is 4. And this is 5. There you go. So there's your 5 stitches onto your needle. And now I'm going to knit across those. Your pattern will say knit 10, but I'm just knitting 5 because 5 is all I did. Okay. And now I am going to purl across the provisionally cast on stitches. You'll be purling the number of stitches that you provisionally cast on. So in this case, if you added length to your sweater or added more stitches there, you're going to be purling across all of those stitches. And then you're going to place a marker, and then you are going to work row 1 of the sleeve stitches again. And then I will show you what to do for the back stitches. Okay, place a marker here and then work row 1 of your sleeve stitches. Okay, so I've worked across row 1 of the sleeve stitches. I'm going to place another marker, and now I have stitches that are provisionally cast on for the back of the sweater, and I'm going to go ahead and purl across all of those stitches. So what's happening is I have the stitches for the front of my sweater on the needle, and then I have the sleeve stitches, and then I have the back stitches on my needle, and I'm working across. So I am literally working across all of the stitches for the sweater, the front and then the shoulder and then the back. And I'm working across the shoulder until I get to the neckline for the neckline split. So after I purl these stitches for the back, then I'm going to turn my work and cable cast on just like you did for the front, for the hem for the back. And then you're just going to follow the directions for the size that you're making and work across the shoulder of the sweater. Definitely let me know if you have any questions. I'm so happy to help you. I know this, I'm not sure if I can zoom out. I don't think I can, but you can see I've got the front, I've got the sleeve, and then I've got the back. And there you have it. You are ready to go with your Pacificus.